All the cars up in time, locking up the front wheels, looking at the scenery. Coming through turn 5 up to turn 6 now, up to the hairpin. Also, a few cars struggle to pull up in time and get round this hairpin corner. No trouble for Braden. Saying that, does get out into the grass. Now we head off to the loop at the bottom end of the circuit. Combination of 5 corners, multiple apexes. Okay, so apologies. Apparently someone had forgot to turn the audio switch on earlier on. So fans out there would have missed listening into me. Anyway, down the main straight we are going, just keeping with Braden Carroll in the number 46 Timaru Tyres Centre Commodore. 1:15.7 is still the fastest for Braden Carroll. Just trying to hunt down Blair Gabbities, who has professional pole on a 1:15.2. Dylan Dalrymple had a very good run last week. He's sitting on a 15.8 and a 16.0. Paul Lancaster in one of the Marlborough Holden dealer team Commodores. He's running in car 2, the 25 machine. So Braden Carroll heads off to turn 6, the hairpin, pulls the Commodore up. Does he get round cleanly this time? Very tight line in the 46 car. Keeps it on the tarmac. Very tyre sensitive circuit. Looking on the internet is Hidden Valley. The temperatures, of course, in Darwin do have a significant impact on the tyres, so a driver that can maintain car speed without punishing his tyres too much, very successful at this circuit. Fastest lap ever, 1:02.9. That's young Kiwi Simon Wills back when we had the Formula Holden series. He popped in a 1:02.9 back in May 2001 in his Reynard 94D. Go into turn 1 off the end of the back straight. Braden Carroll did a 1:14.7. Blair Gabbities also got into the 1:14s on a 1:14.9. Dylan Dalrymple provisionally third fastest qualifier. A little bit loose there in the Falcon. He's going to lose drive going up to the hairpin. It's Alex King in the Alan Grice liveried road raised Commodore. So Alex done a 1:19.4. It's Chris Little in the King George Tavern XE Falcon. He's on a 1:25 provisionally. His qualifying session in the big Group C bangers. Oh, a little bit enthusiastic on the loud pedal coming onto the main straight, loops it up. Braden Carroll a nudge. All right, so ready to roll. On the front row of the grid, Braden Carroll, Paul Artu, then Blair Gabbities, Dylan Dalrymple, and we've got Lancaster and Cotton with Little and King off the back of the 8-car field. 15-minute race, Hidden Valley Raceway, race 1 of the evening. Getting ready to light them up. A lot of these drivers have had trouble getting these cars off the line. Away we go. Yeah, a couple of cars bogged down. Who's going to make the most of it? It's like Blair Gabbities might have just got a nose in front, but he's going to have the long way round turn 1 off the end of the main straight. Oof. 3 abreast. How's it going to turn out? Paul Lancaster's got the 25 car into the lead. He's going to have the inside line as they go into turn 5, heading off down to the hairpin. Braden Carroll in tow. They go line astern. Just waiting for them to come up to the braking zone in turn 5. Got to get a good run out of here, then head up to turn 6, which is the hairpin. Lancaster just sitting on the inside, Carroll on the outside, got his nose in front. Lancaster's got the inside line though, that Braden Carroll's going to have the inside for the next right-hander, gets his nose in front on the 46 Tyres Centre Commodore. Takes the lead. It's into the loop at the bottom end of the circuit. Number of apexes through here. That Kmart Commodore out into the scenery, as is the 20 machine. Anyway, Braden Carroll's got the 46 Timaru Tyre Centre Commodore into the lead. Lancaster second in the number 25 Moulton Holder dealer team car. Dalrymple in the big Falcon. Down that 1.1 kilometre main straight. Braking into turn 1, into the loop. All managed to make the corner. The top 4 drivers. Got Latu just hanging on in the back there in the Kmart Commodore. Head off down to turn 5 once again. A little bit of colourful language there coming from one of the drivers behind us. He'll be putting some coins in the swear jar at the end of the evening. Lancaster gets a little bit loose, and Dalrymple just gets the Commodore nose into the lead, makes the pass stick, takes P2. While these three are racing, it's letting Braden Carroll just build a little bit of a lead there in the number 46 machine. You just see him disappearing out of shot. Heads off down to the loop at the bottom end of the circuit. Oh, Carroll's off into the grass. So Dylan Dalrymple inherits the lead in his Falcon. Latu's just having a look down the inside of Lancaster as they go down that main straight. We've had some technical issues. Have to get online to the call centre. Please hold the line to maintain your place in the queue. Billy just doing a reset. Frozen screens for the competitors. So, getting ready for a reset. Yeah, Dylan Dalrymple gutted, just taken the lead, driving away in his Group C Commodore. Best race he's had all evening. Right, getting ready to go. The big reset. Carroll and Latu off the front row. Then Gabbardy's Dalrymple, Lancaster, Cotton, Little and King. Lights are on again, getting ready for lights out. As we said, quite hard for these drivers to get these big machines off the line, and they're away. Other than have a couple of stabs at the clutch. A little bit of a nudge there in the pack. That looks like Lancaster's just trying to get his way through in the number 25 machine. He gets up to P2. Gravity's in P1 in the Kmart Commodore into turn 1. Lancaster just tries to go around the outside. No, doesn't make it stick. So, Phil Gabbaltees, Dalrymple, Carroll, Latu. Head off down into turn 5. Now they'll take the right-hander, head off to the airpin. For a passing opportunity for Dalrymple here. He's not close enough. Get the Falcon's nose on the inside of Gabbardy's Kmart Commodore. Through the hairpin they go. Off to turn 7 through the right-hander. Ed Carroll, that was a leader at the first race, or the first crack at the first race. Now in P3, all over the back of Dalrymple's Ford Falcon. Blair Gabbardy's just up the road there in the Kmart car. Latu holding down P4 on the sister Kmart Commodore. Cotton through 05. And then King, Lancaster and Little. Gabbardy's leads him over the line the first lap. We're just looking at Carroll. Can he get through on the inside? Outbreak. Dalrymple goes wide. Manages to make it stick. Rimple just trying to come back to the inside but doesn't pull it off. That pushes Dalrymple back to P3 in the Commodore. Still trying to chase that man up front. Gabbardy's leading lap 2 in the number 8 Kmart Commodore. Carroll looking left, looking right as we look down the inside. Gabbardy says not this time, takes a nice tight line through the left-hand hairpin. It's looking out the back of the race leader's car. to Carroll and Dalrymple, and then we can just see Latu in the back of shot in the other Kmart Commodore. Got the short run down to the sweeper. Got to get a good run onto that main straight. We can just see Carroll getting in the draft of Gabbity's, pulls to the inside. Did he go too soon? Can he pull off a braking manoeuvre into turn one? Little bit of a nudge there, Carroll and Gabbity's. Gabbity's still got the nose in front, but he hasn't got the inside line. He goes out into the grass, loses it. There we go. That lets the field through. Where's he going to end up? Going to come out P6. Alex King in the Roadways car, Chris Little behind. Clear Gabbity's now, so it's Carroll, Dalrymple, Latu, 1, 2, 3. There's the race leader coming out of turn 6, the hairpin. Right-hander he goes once again, 1.5 seconds or so of Dylan Dalrymple, the big Falcon. Take it nice and easy. Watch those tyres. Not overheat them. 11 minutes of racing left to go in the first race this evening. Down the 1.1 kilometre straight they go once again. There's Gabbity's all over the back of Lancaster's 25 Ultra Holden dealer team Commodore. Is he close enough to pull off a demon braking manoeuvre? Goes to the outside, then does the old switcheroo into the inside, but Lancaster's in front. Takes the tight line through the sweeper off the end of the main straight. Head off down to turn 5. Right-hander. Here's the next braking zone into turn 5. Nice good exit. Gabbity's just sitting on the outside, but it's the long way round the hairpin. Both of them keep it on the island. To the right-hander. Meanwhile, Braden Carroll, he's got his lead out over 2.5 seconds over Dylan Dalrymple. Bit of a nudge there, bit of brake lock up. Gabbity's getting a little bit excited on the throttle. Look down the inside. They head off down the straight once again. Pulls in behind the 25 car to get a tow. Pop out the end. Once again, goes right. Then left. Bit of a lake up from the 25 car. So now Latu trying to get round Dylan Dalrymple for second. In the XE Falcon. Pulls the big machine up into the hairpin he goes. Is the race leader Braden Carroll. Getting out a shot. He's making out like a bandit. Well, not halfway through the race. Bit of excitement from one of the drivers over my shoulder. Still Latu. What can he do about Dylan Dalrymple? Now Gabbity's has got through on Lancaster. Now Lancaster trying to get into the tow. Too many car lengths back at this point of the race. See Gabbity's moving at left and right. Try and break the tow. Right now, very early turn in from Lancaster and the 25 Commodore. It's round the corner nevertheless. So Latu's half a second behind Dylan Dalrymple. Have a lock up there from the Falcon. Dalrymple goes wide. Still out Latu to close up into the braking zone for the hairpin. Round they go. So Dylan Dalrymple, his best's a 1:15.8, best out of Latu's a 1:15.9. So when they're on their game, very similar lap times. A little bit of adjustment there from Dylan Dalrymple. Out the rear window of the big Falcon. Listening to that 5.8 litre V8 Sing down the main straight from Hidden Valley Raceway. Meanwhile, Braden Carroll just eking out his lead nearly at 7 seconds. Good battle between Dalrymple and Latu. Gabbities and Lancaster also very close. Now Latu looking forward. Through the S's. Into the braking zone. Or turn 5. Heading up to turn 6, the hairpin once again. Brake lights ablaze in Dalrymple's Falcon. Can get as nice an exit as Latu does off the hairpin. That allows Latu to build a bit of speed. He carry it through into the next braking zone. Now, as we look down the inside, can't pull anything off there. Just needs to harass Dylan Dalrymple. Force an error. Okay, they both get a clean run onto the back straight. What's the Commodore got in a straight line? See Blair Gabbities in the background in the sister car. Scapped Paul Lancaster a little bit now. Got his lead out to just over a second. Opposite lock there from Latu. Coming through 2-1. The sleeper off the end of the main straight. 5.5 minutes left to go for race leader Braden Carroll. Now looking down the barrel of an 8-second lead. Just getting a little bit adventuristic on the throttle. The 46 South Canterbury Tyres Centre Commodore. Pounding in the good lap, so best laps 1:14.8, last lap a 1:15.3 for the race leader. But Dalrymple put a second out over Paul Latu. So while we're watching him, he gets out onto the grass, loops it round. Just about takes Latu out. Latu and Gabbities get through. Paul Lancaster now closing up on the back of Dylan Dalrymple. 25 Commodore. Pulls out to the inside out of the draft. Too far behind at this stage to pull off a passing manoeuvre. That spin might have got Dylan Dalrymple but frazzled. Could be the opportunity now for Paul Lancaster to get past and take that P4 position. Right, down into turn 5. Has to close the gap. Off to the hairpin. Needs to get another car length up the road, Paul Lancaster, and wheel over the back of Dalrymple and put a bit of pressure on. There's Gabbities. He's trying to chase down the R2 and the sister Kmart Commodore. Oh, Dalrymple P4, Lancaster P5. And the 1.1 kilometre straight they go once again. Three minutes left to go for race leader Braden Carroll. Pinch to brake there did Lancaster on the 25 machine. The side corner got unloaded. Pulled back half a second on Dylan Dalrymple. The action is on the circuit. just getting a little bit loose. Coming into that right-hander, turn 5. Braking zone. Keeps it clean. Just needs to not light it up coming off the hairpin. So far, so good. So Braden Carroll, he's turning onto the front straight once again. Got the rest of the field coming through the southern loop. Far end of the circuit. Dalrymple, Lancaster. See up the road the 2K mark cars still battling. Oh, Braden Carroll. 46 South Canterbury Tyres Centre Commodore. Nearly at 10 seconds down the road from the rest of the field. So had a stellar week last week, Braden Carroll. Have another lap to go. It's off down to turns 13 and 14. Last lap board will be out for race leader Braden Carroll. Still his best lap, 1:14.8. And a 1:15.7 that time around the circuit. Into the braking zone for the last time in race 1. Here we go, Latu and Gabbities. It's 4/10 of a second between these teammates. Kmart Commodores. And Gabbities get past. Latu's done a sterling job so far this evening. Out of the rear window from Latu's Kmart Commodore to the right-hander, and they head off down to the hairpin. But he just has a look down the inside, can't get his nose in there. Bit of a jump off the curb. Gives Latu half a car length coming out of the hairpin. Head off down the short straight. 2 turns, 13 and 14. There is race winner Braden Carroll. Takes P1 for race 1 this evening in the South Canterbury Tyres Centre Commodore. R2's going to make it P2, then Gabbities. Dalrymple goes through, as does Lancaster. Watching Ray Cotton now in the famous 05 Commodore. Going to get the checkered flag. Will be King and Little to finish race 1 this evening. The Group C touring cars from Hidden Valley Raceway. All fun and games at the end, is it? When that happens during the race, there's a bit of colourful language. So, race 2, Braden Carroll will be starting off the back of the grid. Front row will be Chris Little, Alex King, then Cotton and Lancaster, Dalrymple, Gabbities, Latu and Carroll. They be able to get through the pack. Race 2 from Hidden Valley Raceway. Another 15-minute sprint race, reverse grid. Let's see who hooks it up off the line. As you can see, they bog down, have another stab of the clutch. Get these big beasts rolling. Looks like the Roadways Commodore's a bit of a mobile chicane. It's still sitting on the start-finish line. But Ray Cotton in the 05 Commodore will lead the field into turn 1. Oh, Lancaster just gets a bit out of shape. He tags Cotton. Leads to a pile-up. Carnage. Gabbities makes out like a bandit. In the Kmart Commodore, he gets through. He gets off down the road. Then it will be Carroll. He's already up to P2. Dalrymple, Latu, Little, Lancaster, Cotton and King. So we just got Lancaster there, sitting on the inside of the Chris Little Falcon. As they head into the hairpin, he's all over the tail lights of the big Falcon. Little's managed to take the pressure off, get himself 0.4 of a second up the road. So Gabbities, Carroll, Dalrymple riding on board the Latu car. That's out of Chris Little's front windscreen. It's got Paul Lancaster all over his bumper as they come onto the main straight. Lancaster just has a little look around the outside. Nothing happening there. Just needs to sit on the toe. Try and pull off a kamikaze at the end of the start-finish straight. Goes to have a look down the inside into the braking zone. Overcooks it though on the brakes, does he? Gets out into the grass. Just in the background we can see Cotton, I think, in the 05 car as well. So that corner wasn't very successful for the Marlborough Holden dealer team. But there's Carroll now all over the back of Blair Gabbities. The Kmart Commodore. Carroll has carried more car speed this evening. He doesn't need to do anything silly. Needs to sit there and make the most of his opportunities. Okay, into the braking zone they go for 13 and 14. And down the start-finish straight once again. 5/10. Gabbities back to Carroll. And then we can see Dalrymple back of shot there, P3 in the big Falcon. R2 in the Kmart car, number 2. Bit of opposite lock on the early turn into turn 1. It's the Kmart Commodore round though. Heads off down into turn 5. For the braking zone. So Dalrymple. XE Falcon. He's watching battle between Gabbities and Carroll for P1. So faster exit out of the corner there for Carroll. Goes a little bit speed down the short straight. Carroll takes a wide entry into the corner, tightens it up, trying to get a little bit more speed onto the main straight. Oh, a bit of argy-bargy there, door handle to door handle racing. See Alex King up the road there in the Roadways car. Oh, another nudge. We can see the driving standards adjudicator just beside me watching this as it goes on. Alex King gets out of the way, then loops it up in the Roadways Commodore. Carroll all over the back of Gabbities. Now we're watching Little and Cotton back to the battle for P1. Couple of tenths in it. Bit of a nudge there, was it? Oh, we got an apology. And some colourful language in response. Still, Carroll trying to chase down Blair Gabbities. Get off into 13-14, the sweep to the start finish straight. Get a nice clean entry there. Cars were going out into the grass in the practice session earlier on this evening while they were working out that corner. Okay. fence in it as they cross the line. Fastest lap, 1:14.9. Braden Carroll. He's under pressure. Ooh. Nips the front left-hander and goes wide. Too much car speed though, Braden Carroll. Still Gabbities. Okay, another passing opportunity presents itself at the hairpin. Braden Carroll do anything? Has a look down the inside? No. Takes the wide entry. Run out of the hairpin. Carry that speed through the next section of the course. Get off into the short straight over the back of the circuit. He's just getting out in the grass. Gives Carroll the opportunity. Through he goes. So, race 1 winner. Braden Carroll puts the 46 Commodore up to P1. And Gabbities stay with him is going to be the next question. Or will Carroll drive off into the distance as he did in race 1? So Latu, he's holding down a very lonely P3. Oh, looks like Braden Carroll's going to be the master of his own destiny. It's a little bit loose out into the grass off the end of turn 1. Gabbities back through. So he's going to have to hunt him down once again. Gabbities wasn't an easy man to get past. Flew over his bumper for his number of laps before he got through. Oh, and turn 6, the hairpin, they go. Again, it's a little bit of opposite lock coming off the hairpin. Braden Carroll in the 46 Commodore. Was practicing his drifting earlier on this evening, so he does know how to drive a Commodore sideways around the circuit if necessary. Probably not the fastest way around. A lot of fun. What's going on? Gabbities goes off the circuit and lets Carroll through. Oh, Carroll is going to lead them across the line once again. Just a half a second back to Gabbities in P2. See Latu behind them. Just 3 seconds down the road if these two bump into each other and take themselves out of the action. It's going to give an opportunity for Latu. Dalrymple holding down 4th and Lancaster. Dalrymple's bumper. Then Cotton, Little and King. Oh, Paul Lancaster in the number 25 Holden Commodore. At Dalrymple a couple of seconds up the road in the Falcon. So Carroll, he's got the lead out to just over a second. You drive away from this point in the race. Still 6 minutes left to go from the second 15-minute race. Nice and smooth on the turn in. A little bit of opposite lock as he applies the power going down the start-finish straight. So 1:17.7 on that lap for Braden Carroll. Alright, 1:14.6 as the timing board updates. Oh, Dylan Dalrymple, P4. See Lancaster, 2.3 seconds behind him. The number 25 Commodore. There's Lancaster. Braking zone for turn 1. So we puff of smoke out of that left front hand tyre. Pulls it round the corner though. Off down to the combination. Turn 5 as the braking zone, the right hander. Grabs a bit of smoke off the front once again. Hairpin goes Lancaster. It's up on the ripple strip. Oh, race leader Braden Carroll's put it out in the grass. Latu goes through. Take P2 in the second to the Kmart Commodores, so they're now 1-2. Carroll's got 4.5 minutes to make amends. Oh, Blair Gabbardy's is a long way up the road. Gabbardy's now race leader, then Latu. Aidan Carroll, race 1 winner, now in P3. Got a good gap to Dalrymple, so he can focus eyes forward. And he hunt down Latu, then Gabbardy's. Minutes left to go. Have to be careful not to overdrive at the Hidden Valley Raceway. Said earlier, very tyre sensitive circuit. White drivers punishing their tyres. Now just getting a bit squirrely as he applies the gas coming out of the hairpin. Gonna need to bang in some of those 1:14 second laps to shut down Paul Latu. Paul's best, a 1:15.7, was a 1:16.6 on the last pass. Yeah, Kmart Commodore. There is the leader, there Gabbardy's. He's now 4.5 seconds up the road from Paul Latu, the sister car. It up nicely, turns through turn 1, sweep off the end of the start finish straight. Putting a little bit of curb on the exit there. Just needs to keep it tidy, get it to the end. Less than 3 minutes to run down on the clock. Road there, that's Alex King in the Roadways Commodore. Is it going to be easy for Gabbardy's to put another lap on Roadways car? Yep. King lets him through. Aidan Carroll. Gap down to Paul Latu under 3 seconds. Latu keeps it clean, should get P2. Couple of laps to go though. Just see the race leader Blair Gabbardy's disappearing out of shot. Sister Kmart car. So into the braking zone, Aidan Carroll. Is it cleaner this time? It's Latu. P2. Gabbardy's 4.6 seconds up the road, so we can't really do much about him. Focus will be on keeping Braden Carroll behind him. King has a spin, but manages to stay out of the way of the second and third competitor. Off the hairpin goes Braden Carroll in pursuit of Latu. Laps left to go. Race 2 this evening. So Latu's last lap was a 15.8. Carroll's last lap a 15.5. 3/10 a lap isn't going to be enough for Braden Carroll. Okay, last lap board out. Race leader Gabbardy's into turn 1. Followed by Latu, then Carroll. So there is the race leader, Blair Gabbardy's. Aidan Carroll's got the gap down under 2 seconds. Running out of time on his last lap. He can open Latu to make a mistake. Very well so far this evening. He get himself E2 on the podium. Hairpin for the last time. Eases the throttle down, keeps it tidy. Tight line through turn 7. Short straight across the back of the circuit. Heads off down to turns 13 and 14. got the gap down to 1.3 seconds, but it's not going to be enough. But there is race winner for race 2. Blair Gabbardies started 6th, up to 1st in the Kmart Commodore. Latu goes through for 2nd. Then Braden Carroll gets fastest lap on the end of the race, but too little too late. Dylan Dalrymple's going to go through for 4th in the Falcon. Then it will be Lancaster in the 2nd of the Malden Holbrook dealer team cars. R25. Then Cotton, Little in the Commodore. And Alex King will finish in P8. The Roadways Commodore. So that's the first half of the evening. We'll have a short break and we'll come back for qualifying session number 2. All right, welcome back to the second part of the evening. Group C touring cars coming at you from the House of Sports Simulation and the Royal Arcade Timaru. So we've had race 1 win to Braden Carroll, and then Blair Gabbardy's for race 2. We've got our second qualifying session of the evening. Over 6 minutes left to go, and then we will have 2 more 15-minute sprint races from Hidden Valley Raceway out of Darwin. So originally it was just a drag strip, and they got a little bit of community funding together and built the rest of the circuit, with the first touring car race coming in 1988. So now we go to Darwin for the Triple Crown. We've just raced over the weekend for the supercars. So drivers just sort of getting their eye in, see if they can get into the 1:16 window or thereabouts in their qualifying session before we head off for race 3 this evening. Just looking at Paul Latu in the VK Commodore. He just had a second in the previous race, race 2. What can he do with his first hot lap in the qualifying session 2? So 1:16.8 for Latu. Braden Carroll goes through in the 46 car, 1:15.0. So there is Braden Carroll in the 46 South Canterbury Tyres Centre Holden Commodore. He won race 1, was leading race 2, but had a spin, let through Gabbardy's and Latu. So provisionally on pole we've got Carroll, then Dalrymple, Latu, Lancaster. Cotton's done a 1:18.4 in the 05 machine. Just waiting for Gabbardy's to post the time. In the second of the Kmart cars, so Chris Little is a DNF. He's got a throttle linkage problem in his machine. Oh, Alex King, sorry. It's a throttle sensor problem. So he's a DNS for the second part of the evening. 1:14.4, Braden Carroll. Great time in the qualifying session. Just looking at Cotton in the 05 Commodore. 1:18.4 is his best. Let's see if he can make an improvement before the clock counts down for the end of the qualifying session. So what does Ray do? Goes faster. 16.9. There's Latu. He's on a 16.0. We can just see Carroll in the background. They don't want to be compromising each other as they're doing a qualifying session. You see Carroll's getting a little bit squirrely on the throttle placement. So what does Latu do? A 1:16.17. Just a tad slower. Carroll's still 1:14.4, originally on pole. So Dylan Dalrymple, what can he do in the big Falcon? provisionally P2, 1:15.47. Nice puff of flame out of the left-hand side of the Falcon as he lifts off and brakes into turn 1 off the end of the start-finish straight. The fastest running Falcon campaigner. Can he go faster than 15.4? Bit of oversteer on turn in into the right-hander. So 6/10 down on the first sector. It'll be an uphill battle to go faster on this lap for Dylan Dalrymple. And they've been drafting Ford Falcon. (16.0), 15.4 still his best. Just over a minute left to go on the qualifying clock. So Blair Gabbity's race 2 winner. 1:14.8. Still Braden Carroll in the 46 Commodore. Fastest on provisional pole on a 14.4. Can Blair Gabbity's do anything about that in the Kmart Commodore? So Dalrymple, P3 provisionally, then Latu, Cotton, Lancaster and Little. It's a bit wide going into the hairpin. So fastest first sector for Braden Carroll. Oh, slightly slower on a 14.455, but showing consistency. Still in the 1:14s mid-range. Lancaster's just had a moment on his qualifying lap. So Gabbity's across the line. There goes Cotton. 1:16.7's been his best. Originally P5. There's Little in the King George Tavern. XE Falcon. He'll start at the back of the field. Or race 3 from Hidden Valley Raceway. 14 turns, 2.8 Ks. Just looking down the 1.1 kilometre. Start, finish straight. So let's see who can get there. Group C touring car hooked up and off the line. Alright, waiting for the lights. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're racing. Who gets off the line? Oh, one of the Commodores there bogged down. Chris Little took avoiding action. Looks like it's Ray Cotton in the 05 car. Struggled to get away. But it's Gabbity's leading Dalrymple and Carroll into turn 1 off the end of the straight. Oh. No, we're going to have a reset. All the drivers wait patiently. Okay. Drivers on the grid ready to go once again. Let's see who can get hooked up this time. Cotton had a bad start out of the 05 Commodore. Can he get it hooked up this time? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the lights are out. Away we go. All got away cleanly for take 2. Braden Carroll on the inside's just got his nose in front, heading off down to turn 1, the sweeper off the end of the main straight. Yeah, but he's got his nose and head though, braked a little bit later. Carroll's got the inside line, he takes the position. Dalrymple all over the back of Gabbity's for third. Then Cotton, Lancaster, Latu and Little in the number 20 Falcon. Lancaster all over the back of Cotton in the sister Marlborough Holden dealer team car. They head off to turn 6 into the hairpin. Latu, he's hanging on to Lancaster's bumper off the hairpin. Head off down to turn 7. Just got to get a good exit there. It looks like Lancaster might have been out to the grass a wee bit in the Commodore. That lets Latu through. Oh, Lancaster sitting on the inside though. Doesn't want to give that position up too easily. Gets on to the throttle. Lets Latu through once again. And Latu hold that position going on to the start-finish straight. Holds it for now at least. He's going to be in P5 as they cross the line. Carroll's going to lead them through though for Dalrymple, Gabbity's, Cotton, Latu, Lancaster and Little at the end of a very exciting lap. So Lancaster on the inside. Now Latu. Lancaster's going to hold the inside though for the next corner into the braking zone, into turn 5. Holds the position and they race up to the hairpin. Could be another passing opportunity for Latu. No, not able to get his nose up on the inside. Get a cleaner exit off the hairpin into turn 7. Latu just having a wee look down the inside as they exit the corner. Oh, gets a little bit hard on the gas up onto the curb. All right, down the inside. Oh, Latu off into the grass. That takes the pressure off Lancaster. He can focus eyes forward now. See if he can get onto the back of the 05 sister car. There it is. That's Cotton chasing Gabbity's down the start-finish straight. So Carroll, Dalrymple, Gabbity's 1, 2, 3 as they cross the line into the braking zone. Goes the race leader. Braden Carroll, then Dalrymple in the Falcon. Gabbity's in the first of the Kmart cars. Then it's Cotton in the 05 Marlborough Holden dealer team Commodore. Okay, cleanly into the braking zone goes Blair Gabbity's. 1.5 seconds in arrears of Dalrymple. There we go. In the Falcon. He's just a couple of seconds behind race leader Braden Carroll, who's had one win, race 1 this evening. Was leading race 2, but then master of his own destiny, got off out to the scenery. Can we have a Falcon win? Still 11 minutes left to go in race 3. Down the start finish straight goes Dylan Dalrymple once again. Gabbity's, Cotton and Lancaster, then Latu. Chris Little holding down 7th in the number 20 Ford Falcon. So 1:15.3 on that pass for race leader Braden Carroll. Dalrymple was a 1:15.5. Gabbity's did a 14.9. So fastest of the front runners this early stage of the race. So now Lancaster on the back of Ray Cotton in the sister car. Won't want to take him out. Team boss won't be very happy about that. Oh, Lancaster gives it a bit too much jandle out of turn 5. Gathers it up, but that takes the pressure off Cotton for the time being. Meanwhile, Gabbity's still trying to find his way around that big Ford Falcon of Dylan Dalrymple. On board now. Just down the short stretch coming into turns 13 and 14. Just need to get a very tight, clean line coming off turn 14. Get a good run off the corner into the start-finish straight. And you get into the draft of that big Ford Falcon. 5.8 litre lump towing him down the start-finish straight. So Gabbity's just has a very wide entry into turn 1. Closes up right under braking onto the tail of Dylan Dalrymple. Takes a tighter line, exiting the corner. Rides the curb on the outside. Gets the power down in the number 8 VK Commodore. Good shots on board from race cam. Okay, through the right-hander. Oh, Dalrymple gets a little bit loose off the corner. Does that give Gabbity's an opportunity? Very long way around the outside there, Blair. Get a good drive off the hairpin. And can he get on his tail for the next braking zone? The Commodore's a lot lighter. But under brakes, or once again, Dalrymple getting very loose off the turn in the Ford Falcon. Okay, can Gabbity's get a good run out of the straight too, pull something off into turn 1. Up through the gears, into top in the number 8 VK Commodore. So that time round, Blair Gabbity's once again a 1:14.9. Fastest is a 1:14.8. Oh, he's there or thereabouts, trying to hunt down P2. Meanwhile, Braden Carroll, he's 3.5 seconds up the road in the number 46 car. We can just see him exiting out of turn 5 now, heading off to the hairpin. Oh, quite cool, only 20 degrees Celsius. Air temperature, 25 track temperature. Hidden Valley Raceway today. Oh, just a moment there from Blair Gabbity's. That's allowed Dylan Dalrymple to get a couple of car lengths down the road. Okay, heading off into turn 13. Just get a nice run through the corner. Off 14, down the start-finish straight. 1.2 seconds, second back to third. They've got a 6-second lap over the 05 car. And we can just see Cotton going over the start-finish line now. There is the race leader, Braden Carroll, coming off turn 1 in the South Canterbury Tyres number 46 Commodore. Still the battle is for P2. Dylan Dalrymple's just taken the pressure off himself a little bit there. And got a second over Blair Gabbity's in the Kmart car. Good tight drive off the hairpin. See Cotton in the background in the 05 car just as he turns into the hairpin. Oh, Gabbity's now. Very long way around the outside. Rimple holds the position. Turns in, uses those 5.8 litres of V8 of Henry's best down the start-finish straight. So Dalrymple that time 1:15.9, 1:16.0 for Gabbity's. Okay, Gabbity's closes up under brakes into turn 1. Can he get a run off the corner? Gabbity's using all the track a little bit more off out to the ribble strip. Meanwhile, race leader Braden Carroll, he's got his lead out to nearly 5 seconds. Just coming out of the hairpin now as second and third place competitors turn in. Just get a little bit wiggly there is the big Falcon as Dylan puts the loud pedal down. Has Gavity's got anything in his bag of tricks? Not if he's going to go out into the grass, he hasn't. It's going to take the pressure off Dylan Dalrymple. Gives him another second and a half. There's Latu. Latu's trying to chase down Paul Lancaster in the 25 Commodore. So Latu, his best's a 1:15.6, last lap time a 1:15.9. Lancaster's best is a 1:16.0, which was his last lap. It's out of shape though, coming off the end of the start-finish straight, does the 25 driver, Paul Lancaster. It's going to cost him a couple of tenths. Lock up at the brake there, both drivers turning into the right-hander as the inside right wheel gets unloaded. The hairpin. R2 putting pressure on the 25 Holden Commodore of Paul Lancaster. Through the right-hander they go. It's 4/10 of a second. 3.5 minutes or so left to go in race 3. So, fastest lap for race leader Braden Carroll, 1:14.6. Down the start finish straight they go once again. And we can see Ray Cotton in the background in the 05 Commodore. So, Lancaster just using the ripple strip there, gets his inside left-hand wheel over the strip. Makes the turn in. It's 4/10 of a second back to Latu. Where the race is in the last 3 minutes as the clock counts down. A bit wide off the hairpin, there's Lancaster, holds the position for now. R2 riding the curbs, getting a couple of wheels in the air. Got his eyes forward. Oh, Lancaster out to the grass, that might be Latu's opportunity. Takes the position. That puts Latu into P4. Now Lancaster under pressure from the sister car of Ray Cotton. Ray got the momentum on, going down the start-finish straight to take the position. Two laps left to go. Well, both of them didn't do well, but Cotton did worse. He's off into the grass. That takes the pressure off Paul Lancaster in car 25. Race leader, Braden Carroll. Nearly 6 seconds up the road from Dylan Dalrymple in the big Falcon. There it goes, just pulling into the back of the shot. So Carroll having a little bit of fun now with the throttle in the 46 South Canterbury Tyres Centre Commodore. We'll have the last lap board, 1 lap to go. Needs to drive it home from here. We've seen in race 2 this evening, Carroll was in the lead and then master of his own destiny, threw it away. Comes out of turn 1 nicely. Down a gear. The Holden Commodore. Bang! What's he done? Commentator's curse, Braden Carroll. So let's Dalrymple through. So Dalrymple goes through. So intrigue at the end there for race 3. Latu. Kmart car, Lancaster and car 25, provisionally third. So technical problems for Braden Carroll. Okay, so now we have race 4, reverse grid. Cotton Lancaster, Gabbities Latu, Carroll Dalrymple, Chris Little off the back of the field in car 20. Lights are on. Let's see who gets their Group C touring car off the line. Away they go. Oh, what happened to car 25? It went sideways rather than straight ahead. Carnage off the line. And Paul Lancaster manages to keep it going though after making some space for himself on the circuit, shall we say. He leads Latu into turn 1. Then Carroll, Gabbities, Little, Cotton, Dalrymple in the Falcons. They're at the back of the grid. So Lancaster, Latu, Carroll, Gabbities head off up to turn 6, the hairpin for the first time in race 4. Carroll just having a look around the inside of Latu. Gets a little bit loose off the hairpin. Gabbities all over the back of Carroll's Commodore as they come out of turn 7. Head off across the back part of the circuit. Oh, Lancaster using a little bit of the scenery. Holds P1 for now though. All the Commodores at the front of the circuit. Who's that in the background getting a little bit wild? Ray Cotton in car 5. He's chasing down Chris Little in the number 20 Falcon. So Latu just sitting on the inside of Lancaster coming into the braking zone. No, Lancaster pulls over, but lots of brake, goes a little bit wide. Let Latu through the inside. Lancaster's got the pace off the corner to hold that position. Meanwhile, Carroll goes through up to P2 in the number 46 car. Carroll could be hoping to make it 3 out of 4 this evening. Putting a lot of pressure on race leader Paul Lancaster as they head off into the hairpin. Lancaster just sitting on the inside of the corner. Carroll will have to take the long way round. Not this time. Then the 2 Kmart cars, Latu and Gabbities holding down 3rd and 4th. Paul Lancaster watching on in 4th position in the 25 Commodore. Okay, off down the start finish straight they go. Braden Carroll going to lead them across the line. That's Cotton getting all loose in the 05 car. Oh, Dalrymple's going to get the run onto the straight. He'll take that position. Gets himself up to P6 in the Falcon. He's Gabbity's chasing Latu. He's got Lancaster on his bumper as well, so ice forward and back for P3 runner Blair Gabbity's. Off up to the hairpin they go. 2 seconds up the road is Braden Carroll in car 46. Then Latu, Gabbity's, Lancaster. We get back to Chris Little in car 20. Can Gabbity's do anything about Paul Latu? He's had a win in race 2 this evening, has Blair Gabbity's in the Kmart car. Just sizing up Latu. In the start finish straight they go. And Kester's going to have to do something if he wants to close down the gap and get in the tow of these 2 cars. So Braden Carroll goes through. He does a 1:14.7. It's the fastest lap in the early part of the race. Gabbity's just nipping up the inside wheel as it gets unweighted. Holds it steady though. Lose any track time. Off down to turn 5 they go. Another shot on the brakes. Then they head up to the hairpin. And Gabbity's get his nose on the inside. No, Latu takes a tight line. Gabbity's out wide. Coming off the hairpin. Latu's just eased away a couple of seconds. Oh, out into the scenery. That lets Latu fall back through the field. That takes out Chris Little. There's Dalrymple, he goes through. Now Cotton is on Latu's tail in the 05 Commodore. That takes the pressure off Blair Gabbity's, lets him through to a comfortable P2. Another fastest lap for race leader, 14.501. Braden Carroll. The 46 Holden Commodore. So there is Little up to P4 on the number 20 Falcon. He's got Dalrymple following him. The other Group C Falcon touring car. Then Latu and Cotton. Under 10 minutes left to go in race 4 this evening. Oh, squirrely under brakes there for Chris Little, but pulls it up. Gives it the jandle coming off the corner, just gets a bit loose. Gives Dylan Dalrymple the opportunity to grab another car, half a car length. Oh, race leader Braden Carroll out in the scenery. Far behind is Gabbity's. Luckily for Braden, Gabbity's is a couple of seconds further down the road. That's going to hopefully get Braden to sharpen up his concentration. 8.5 minutes left to go if he wants to make it 3 out of 4 races tonight. So now it's Dalrymple, Little, Latu. Cotton in the 05 car holding down 7th. Sorry, the 05 Marlborough Holden dealer team machine. So Latu all over the back of Chris Little's Falcon. Watching Paul Lancaster now. Trying to take P2 off Blair Gabbity's. So Paul Lancaster got away to a good start, made himself a bit of a gap in the field with a bit of a nudge and a wink. He's holding down P3 in car 25. Going to chase down Blair Gabbity's. Just over a second between second and third. Eases the 25 car out of turn 14. On the start finish straight they go once again. .2 seconds in it. So Lancaster, He did a 1:17.0. Gabbity's a 1:19.1. That's what's allowed Paul Lancaster to close the gap. All brake lock up. The right inside tyre as the suspension gets unloaded. Okay, into the hairpin they go, turn 6. Gabbity's has eased out a couple of tenths just to take the pressure off himself. Braden Carroll, race leader, he's got the lead back up to 6 seconds. So we are now well into the second half of race 4. And back to Dylan Dalrymple, he's holding down 4th. Latu, Cotton and Little, 20 at the back of the field. So that time round, a 1:15.2 from Blair Gabbity's, and Paul Lancaster 1:15.7. Dalrymple 1:15.8. So they're keeping him at bay. Current speed. Lancaster, meanwhile, he's got up to P2. Can he hold that position for another 5 minutes? Had a good run earlier in the season, did Paul Lancaster. Couple of wins. But hasn't been able to put it all together tonight. For round 3. Is struggling to come to terms with the Hidden Valley circuit. Fastest of the evening, I think, there. Braden Carroll, 1:14.1. Making the most of not being under pressure. Got the clear track. Posting in some good times. Very deep into the corner goes the 25 car of Paul Lancaster. Turns it round though. We can see Gabbity's just over 2.5 seconds in his mirrors. And Dylan Dalrymple lurking in the Falcon. There goes Dylan. Big puff of flame out the left side exhaust on the Group C Falcon. Nice tidy line through turn 6, hairpin. Does he fancy a podium position this evening? He's got just over 3.5 minutes to do something about it. As we see Lancaster and Gabbity's up the road. So Gabbity's got the gap down to 1 second between Paul Lancaster and himself for second and third. Across the start finish line they go to start another lap once again. 1:16.6 for Paul Lancaster, 1:15.0 for Gabbity's. So that's what's allowed him to close that gap. Out of turn 1 they come. Head off down to turn 5. Once again on the brakes, all big lock up there from Paul Lancaster and the number 25 Commodore. Will get him a little bit unsettled as he heads up to the hairpin. Oh, Gabbity's goes too deep out in the grass. That takes the pressure off Paul Lancaster. That gives him a second or so breathing space and allows Dalrymple to close down the gap to Blair Gabbity's. Puff of smoke break out of the car of Paul Lancaster as he locks the wheel. Braden Carroll, another 1:14.1 for the race leader. Couple of laps left to go. Race 4 this evening. He's got a 13-second breathing space over Paul Lancaster. Then Gabbity's. Dalrymple's now lurking, thinking about P3. Into the braking zone, turn 1. Off the sweeper they go. Gabbity's gets through on Lancaster. Minute and a half to count down on the clock. And Lancaster come back. Gonna have this lap +1 to do something about it. It's like Gabbity's is just driving away a little bit now from the third place competitor. Lancaster keeps grabbing some brakes. The light lock up. Okay, last lap brought out for these competitors. Carroll, Gabbity's, Lancaster. It's the podium positions with a lap to go. Dalrymple's not far in arrears. Then Latu, Cotton and Chris Little in the 20 car. No, Lancaster just about gets out into the grass. They're struggling to get that Commodore to turn in at the end of the race. Allows Dalrymple to close the gap down to under a second. Does he fancy that last spot on the podium? Half a lap to do something about it. See Latu in the background there in P5. The second Kmart car. To the hairpin for the last time. Goes Lancaster and Dalrymple. Along the 25 car now. Paul Lancaster. Anyway, there is the winner. Braden Carroll. He's going to make it 3 from 4 on the number 46. Holden Commodore. Gabbity's. He's going to take P2. He's had a good evening in the Kmart car. Lancaster goes through for the last spot on the podium, followed by Dalrymple. Then Latu goes through in the second Kmart machine. Kmart cars second and fifth. Cotton for sixth. Chris Little will finish the race. R20 and P7. So thanks for tuning in to the House of Sports simulation. Seeing Dylan Dalrymple there getting that last little bit of wear out of his tyres. Giving the Bokens something to cheer for. Oh well, thanks team. We'll catch you next week.